And I would like to introduce it with a prayer so that we can be open to receive what we are here for. Divine Mother, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, beloved Guru Paramahansa Yogananda, divine friend Swami Kriyananda, open our hearts and mind, make our consciousness receptive to be touched deeply where we most need it for the evolution of our consciousness by this healing ray, as it will be brought by your words of healing. Om. 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 Receptivity is in fact one of the crucial keys for healing. Healing at all levels. It is not always only about healing from a physical disease. We talk, and he talked, about healing from whatever lack of harmony in our physical life, yes, in our mental life, our emotional life, our material life, even financial issues are a form of disease. And everything always as a consequence, certainly of something which came out of us along the whole long journey of the evolution of our consciousness, one life after the other. And I would like to read, usually at Sunday satsangs, we read from either the commentaries to the Gita, from Paramahansa Yogananda or other writings of him. I would like to read from writings on healing, which are not that commonly available, are not purchasable even, and you will receive it via email if you are interested after this satsang, if you want to leave your email address. To start to have an idea of how we address the whole matter of healing. For instance, in the Precepta, which were the writings he did for his students in the 30s, he said, there is a power that will light your way, which will bring you health, happiness, peace, and success, if you will, but turn toward the light. And this is exactly what we are going to see together. How to turn towards the light and how to use that power. As darkness cannot remain where the light is, so also darkness of disease is driven away by the light of God's perfect presence when it enters the body. And we are going to see how to have God's perfect presence enter in our body for healing purposes at all levels. Each thought of depression, of happiness, irritability, or calmness cuts subtle grooves in the brain cells and strengthens the tendencies towards sickness or well-being. Stubborn mental or physical diseases always have a deep root in the subconsciousness. Illness may be cured by pulling out its hidden roots. And we will see together how to pull out these hidden roots from the mind. Because in fact, he gave very specific healing techniques. He didn't remain at a level of philosophy where he was only narrating us what really happens about disease, but how to get out of that, how to get out of that contest of disharmony at whatever level is manifesting. And we are going to see it. And we will start by allowing that God's perfect presence to act act and work at a physical level. So today we will touch the physical level, we will touch the mental, emotional level, and therefore the spiritual level. First of all, there is one principle that he gives, very simple and very clear, where he says, energy heals. And all healing is only about rousing the level of energy within our body, the life force in our body, which is the presence within our body of that cosmic conscious energy constantly present around us. So, energy heals, and healing is nothing but, he says, arousing, not even arising, but arousing the life force within us. And this is what we are going to see together. If you are willing to come up, just to stand up, we will see how to allow the simplest, and he says, more powerful exercise to arouse the life force from within us, and at the same time release stale emotions, rotten emotions, rotten levels of consciousnesses which are stuck from our spine to our brain and are at the origin of physical and other forms of disease. First, I will show to you, and then you will do it if you want. Again, if it is true that healing, he says, is nothing but arousing the life force within us, this exercise is the most powerful. He says to allow that to happen and to release what we said. He doesn't spare words. So I will tell you what he says. First of all, we will inhale double, tensing all our body and bringing into a focus in that tension whatever emotions or mental discomforts or physical imbalances we are aware of, but also being willing to bring into a focus in that very tension what we are not aware, but which is at the origin of whatever imbalance we are experiencing at this point of our life. Then we, and I will help you, will count 20 counts, maintaining that tension, and we will release it completely, he says, with a precise sound, to tell you that is not a joke, just a fantasy, but a true hoo-hoo, which is kind of funny to read, but it tells us how much he really means it. I will show it to you, and then, if you want, you can do it. I am inhaling double and tensing all my body. And I count 20. I will do it for you, and then I will release doing and we will do it, if you want, 3 times. So if you want to follow, we are tensing with double inhalation the whole body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And the last time, again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This exercise, then Swami Kriyananda says, can be done any time you feel afraid of something. You feel fear, for known reasons or unknown reasons. Or, he adds, any time you feel hurt, for how perhaps someone has mistreated you, or for how you think life is mistreating you. So it is a very powerful tool that we can do any time. Even when we are perhaps in an office, we can go to the restroom and doing it. It is very powerful. And then you can certainly sit down.
Those of you on the ground, why don't we scoot up a little bit and closer? As a couple people, more people will come, there will be some room in the back as they come. Anybody need a pillow?
And this is one within the field, within one of the fields of tools for healing that he suggests. In fact, he gives different tools for healing, different areas as tools for healing. One is certainly physical exercise, and this was one. The other is diet. I will not enter in depth into diet issues because it would take a class, an entire 2-hour class, 2-3 hours. I will not enter in that. But he talks about diet not only on a physical level, but diet even of our brain, of our mind, what we think, what we watch, what we listen to, what we speak. What environment we expose ourselves to, what people we expose ourselves to as well. So it is the diet of a lifestyle, is a lifestyle diet. And then breathing. Breathing is another form of rousing the life force. So, exercise, diet, breathing, and we are going to see what a simple breathing exercise, which he says, again, will help to rouse the life force for healing purposes at all levels. He didn't come to be a physical healer. He was also a physical healer. But it is about healing from karma that an avatar comes. So whatever healing tools he gives are always for healing at all levels. So energy heals. Whatever healing practice, whatever healing tool is only a way to rouse the life force. And a healing tool, a healing method, a healing technique, he says, will work only as far as it will rouse the life force. And pranayama is one of the ways. Two very simple, very easy to remember pranayama methods. In one, we just use the breath. Either we are sitting or in whatever, even laying down, whatever conditions. In another, he combines the other tool of exercising with the tool of breathing for a very powerful healing exercise. And I will start first with the easiest, which you all know, equal breathing. We can count up to 12 from 8, which 6 is the easiest way, 8 is the, let's say, it helps the average people. It is affordable to the average people, then we can go to 10 and 12, counting equally when we inhale, when we hold the breath, and when we exhale. And then we will do together the other method to rouse the life force, which combines exercise and pranayama, which he suggests doing while walking. So while we walk, exercising our body, he invites us to breathe 12, 12, 12, 24 times. So Swami Kriyananda, in order to reach maybe a the average person, which perhaps finds it too difficult to walk and breathe for 24 times at a count of 12, 12, 12, even only remembering perhaps is difficult, suggests to do a walk where for 6 times you will inhale 6, 6, 6, or 8, 8, 8, up to 6 times. This is very, very powerful because you are exposing your body to activity which by itself, Yogananda says, rouse the life force. You are exposing yourself to oxygen and sunlight. If usually in India we have sunlight, if it is not obviously too strong, because sunlight and oxygen are 2 sources of life force. They, Yogananda says, generate life force by the only fact of exposing ourselves to oxygen and sunlight. So, I would like to invite you to start with the simple pranayama, because here we cannot walk and do pranayama, but please do it at home. When you are at home, go out of the house. It's very important not to remain in the house all the time, or only from home to office. So we will just do a very simple pranayama, and you will experience a change of the level of energy in your body and a change of perception of your mental condition. Very simple. We'll do it just for 1 minute. We cannot not go in depth in each technique. If you want to close your eyes, and I'm sure each of you knows it by heart, you could teach it perhaps. We close our eyes, we keep our spine straight. And with the awareness that while breathing, we are actually allowing the cosmic conscious energy constantly around us to enter through our medulla and manifesting in the form of breathing. But it's nothing but allowing that cosmic conscious energy to consciously and willingly enter in our body, and therefore arousing, triggering our perhaps dormant life force to again come up, or unblock knots of that very life force which are there in our body or in our mind. So I will count for you up to 8. We will do it just 3 times, very simply. You will inhale up to the count of 8. You will hold the breath up to the count of 8, and you exhale then up to the count of 8. I will do it for you now. I will count for you if you want to start. We inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We hold our breath 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we inhale again 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can do it up to 6 times. 10 times, 12 times. And if we want to make it more powerful, Paramahansa Yogananda always, like Lahiri Mahashaya did, insists on holding the gaze of our eyes up to the point between the eyebrows. Why? He says that in the mind lies the omnipresent healing power of God. He said that in a talk he gave in Los Angeles at Mount Washington in 1940, when nobody was talking about these things. All the healing methods we hear today, the innumerable healing therapies there are, they all say that. But why is it so? And I'm talking about it only now when I said he suggests to keep the eyes gaze there, up to the point between the eyebrows. Because he says that we can use the infinite divine presence of God which lies here in the prefrontal lobe in form of superconsciousness in order to erase all what are the sources of our physical, mental, emotional, material diseases. Because he explains that every thought, every habit that we have ever had cut subtle grooves in the brain cells, which from one life to the other we bring with us until they are erased, usually by the experience of suffering, by all the activities that happen, all the facts that happen in our lives, which mysteriously, through suffering, erase that karma, or through the accelerated practices we do, the spiritual practices. But then he gave specific healing techniques to use, in fact, that infinite healing power within our mind, which is nothing but, he says, the infinite divine presence stored there, living there, at the point between the eyebrows, in our superconsciousness, and we can use it with very specific techniques. But just to say that when you do your pranayama, remember to keep the gaze of your eyes fixed here at the point between the eyebrows, because it makes it very powerful. It allows that conscious cosmic energy that we are allowing to enter in our body through breathing, willingly and consciously, to operate directly and to rouse whatever life force is already within us. So, exercise, breathing, diet, we already talked. And then, using the presence of God within our mind to erase the sources, the seeds of karma, lying in the brain as they lie in the other polarities, like if they have the seeds of karma about which he talks. When he explains all the theory and system of Kriya, they are lying in our spine and in our brain. It's like two different polarities of the same seeds of karma. And in his healing techniques, different from Kriya, which is the supreme technique for healing from karma in its entirety, but in its other healing techniques, he uses the concentration at the spiritual eye to allow the presence of God in the form of light to work directly in our brain and erase those seeds of karma, which in the brain are present in form of grooves in our brain cells. All the neurosciences in the last 20 years, 19, 20 years, have discovered, first of all, that there are traces, that there are actually neuropathways, there are segments made of brain cells which correspond to certain thoughts, to certain habits that we have, which are detrimental to our physical health, which are detrimental to our mental and emotional health. Yogananda talked about thought pathways in the brain and the grooves in the brain cells. 4 years ago, the University of Zurich discovered that these very pathways, these very neuropathways, connected to traumas, are inherited up to 3 generations. But this is where the science reaches. But we know it's not 3 generations to my daughter, my granddaughter, it's myself since 30 lifetimes ago. You understand? But the science is getting there, which is nice to see that even the scientific laboratories are discovering what the great yogis forever said. In the email that you perhaps will be willing to receive, I have written also all these new scientific reports from different universities in the world to see how fascinating is to read the proof, the scientific proof of all what he said and that we are sharing this morning. So, the hope he gives is that it is possible to accelerate the erasing, the cancellation, the burning, these are the right words he uses, of those seeds of karma. And I would like to lead you through what is the most powerful of his, he called, superconscious healing techniques. It is very simple, and it can be done all your life. Whenever you identify through introspection, which is a crucial activity that we all, as yogis, as spiritual seekers, are invited and advised to do by Master. Well, whenever you identify some pattern within you, which you see is causing discomfort, and which perhaps you don't know, but on the long run is causing physical discomfort, especially after the 40s. Well, he suggests that, again, we need to enter into a state where we can gather our energy at the point between the eyebrows. So certainly meditation is highly recommended. You do not accelerate the burning of karma, the origin of the physical diseases, mental diseases, financial diseases, without doing something different from the normal life. So it is obvious that we need to prepare ourselves with something which is not what we have commonly done for incarnations, which is a normal life only. So meditation is the supreme tool to apply these healing techniques given by an avatar, so that we don't remain only at a conscious level of healing, which is part of all the motivational therapies you see around, all the motivational books you see in the libraries and in Amazon, hundreds of books, they all remain at a conscious level, or at a level where the change doesn't happen at its causal layer, which is where the healing techniques of an avatar go instead. So the first activity to be done in order to heal is meditation. Because, for a very scientific reason that he explains, during meditation, the mind withdraws, the mind interiorizes, gets interiorized. By getting interiorized, Yogananda says, it withdraws the life force from the muscles and nerves and concentrates it in the brain. And he explains that when the life force is concentrated in the brain, has the intelligence to identify the seeds of karma in form of grooves in the brain cells at the origin of our issues, and has the power to destroy it. So we are going to understand, first of all, that meditation is needed, but we are not going to meditate now. Let's pretend that we have meditated, and let's enter into the superconscious healing technique, which requires meditation first. And I describe it to you, and then we'll do it together. Again, without allowing 20 minutes, 15 minutes that usually Paramahansa Yogananda suggests in order to allow a real change in our electromagnetism, means in the visible, perceivable form of the change happening in our consciousness. We will do it in a few minutes, because we want to try to give many, to share many tools, so we cannot go in depth in every tool. But I will describe it to you, and then we will do it together. He says, when you are at a certain level of meditation, at a certain level of interiorization, gather all your energy at the point between the eyebrows and see it transformed into a laser beam of blazing light, and shine it on your brain, instantly burning the grooves of wrong mental habits, negative mental habits, wrong thoughts. Negative thoughts are the origin of the present physical, mental, emotional, material disease that you are facing. And see this laser beam instantly burning those seeds of karma in form of grooves in your brain cells, and substituting those brain cells with new brain cells, with new programs. Perhaps you don't know what is the reason why you are facing whatever issue at this moment of your incarnation. Doesn't matter. Be willing to allow that light to scorch, to find it. Because he says, Yogananda, that light being just an aspect of the infinite presence of God within us, has the intelligence to find it. Even if you do not have that intelligence, not because you are not intelligent, but because sometimes we cannot see what is very old and yet very much powerfully active, alas. So, we will start closing our eyes, gazing at the point between the eyebrows, remembering we are coming from meditation. So we want to gather all our energy there, at the point between the eyebrows. And if you feel you are not capable to do it, ask him. Yogananda says, the power of God within you will do it. So have that faith. As for Kriya, we need devotion for these healing practices. So gather all your energy at the point between the eyebrows. See it transformed into a laser beam of blazing light, and shine that laser beam on your brain, and then see it moving like a torch in the darkness, right and left, up and down, scorching, finding whatever seeds of karma, cutting your brain cells there in form of grooves, are there, originating whatever present discomfort you feel. Maybe you are affected by an obsessive thought, maybe, which is hurting you. Maybe you are affected by tendency to low self-esteem. Maybe you have memories of past painful events which are chasing you, and you cannot get rid of the compulsive habit to go back to those memories. All this is grooved in your brain cells, perhaps since a very, very, very old time. Well, Yogananda says, that laser beam of blazing light has an infinite power of projection. Send it there, shine it there, within. From above your brain you enter and you shine it there. It will reach those very brain cells where those grooves are cut since long time, and will reach the origin within the history of evolution of your consciousness, where those grooves have been formed, one brain after the other, within the different bodies you've been carrying. See it burning those brain cells. See that laser beam burning He uses the word burning, he uses the word cauterizing, and he uses the word pulverizing. And I will read to you his words. Feel the divine memory of all past, whatever that past was, whatever is that you remember you don't. Feel the divine memory of all past flowing into you, flowing there in that brain. And he adds, pulverize all mental records of accidents of whatever sort, physical, emotional, fears, past physical and mental troubles of operations, bereavements, quarrels, depressed experiences, past sinful habits, and thoughts of unkindness of others, or administered hurt by others. Feel that divine memory. It is divine because God allows this process to happen, either you remember or not. And see this light, this laser beam burning all what we read, wherever it is present in your brain. Then see this light substituting those brain cells with those old programs after being burned, substituting those with new brain cells, with new programs, with the opposite qualities, opposite habits, opposite thoughts, opposite tendencies, luminous, uplifting, uplifted. And then he says, send that light now throughout your body, wherever you know that there is a physical problem, originated exactly by the conditions in your brain. Send it there. And again, see that light burning, he says, the disease cells, and substituting them with healthy cells. And you can go then at an emotional healing level by sending that light to your heart for whatever sorrow, whatever grief, whatever emotional hurt from memories of past events that you could not overcome. See that light reaching those memories, reaching those hurts, reaching those sorrows, those griefs, and transmuting them into light, freeing you, healing you. And you can do this going deeper and deeper, at deeper and deeper levels within your heart, sending that light at deeper and deeper levels. One closed room of the heart to another closed room. Whatever form of disease, he calls it darkness. The light sent to the heart opens doors where chambers of darkness, of pains have been held for who knows how long, and heals them. You can open your eyes, although when you do it at home, you can do it for 15 minutes, as long as you need, as long as you feel. We have seen people healing from paralysis, physical paralysis, through this exercise, through this superconscious healing technique of Paramahansa Yogananda. We have seen people healing from griefs of widowedness. Women who had lost their husband, they couldn't come out of the pain of it for years, healed in one session of this healing technique. We have seen mothers who have lost children for 26 years in grief, healed by this. It is very powerful. It is very, very, very powerful. if done with concentration and devotion, as we are taught to do our Kriya, for instance. So these are forms of baby Kriyas, baby Kriyas, but very, very powerful. They come from the same avatar. You can add to this, and this is the second technique which I would like to share with you about using our brain as a place for healing. You can add to the practice of the superconscious healing technique what he describes as a command method. Again, he uses the word command even towards God. So he invites us to strongly, and these are his words, command to God to cauterize our brain cells of wrong past habits. Past habits means habits of thinking. Habits of thinking about ourselves, perhaps in ways which are belittling us. It has a vast scope, the word. All these words have a vast scope. So it's not just the habit of smoking. It's many habits about we perceive ourselves and lives, about how we deal with life, about how we deal with others. So he says, when you are in that deep state, either you are doing the superconscious healing technique, and during that you can apply what I'm about to say, or when you have ended your wrong saw practice, and you are taught to allow 10, 15, on how much longer, hours perhaps, if you do not have Kriya, of just staying there unmovable. You can do this practice, which is very powerful, where he says, first of all, when you are in that state of meditation, strongly, deeply, devotionally say, I and my Father are one. Father as God. And then tell him, he says, I command thy divine power within me to cauterize my brain cells of wrong habits and wrong past seed tendencies. And then command your own brain cells to change and say, I command my brain cells to change, to burn the grooves of bad habits, negative wrong thoughts, which have made, he says, a puppet out of me. Lord, burn them up in thy divine light. I will send to you all this. You don't even have to write it. I will send you everything if you will want to receive all these sources of healing techniques. These are powerful methods where we are combining our dialogue with God to our part, which is commanding our own very much brain cells. But he says it takes concentration and will. So, as you see, concentrations come back again, and will. We all remember the principle of all his teachings. Actually, Swami Kriyananda says, the basis of all Paramahansa Yogananda yogic philosophy is the saying and the truth that the greater the will, the greater the flow of energy. In this case, what energy? First of all, the energy, the cosmic conscious energy that we want to allow to enter in our body in order to rouse our life force in order to heal. And the energy of his presence in form of that light that we have used to erase the seeds of karma grooved in our brain cells. So you see, everything comes together. The greater the will, the greater the flow of energy. So to do whatever exercise we are doing, given by Yogananda in order to heal, we need strong will and we need strong energy. And then we need patience. Sometimes the practice of these techniques have an instantaneous healing effect. Sometimes it takes time. because, he says, it can be that your karma is requiring more time. And truly something that nobody can say. Ultimately, Swami Kriyananda used to say, it is the grace of God which allows these things to happen in a high, middle, low way, or to happen immediately. We cannot say. But let's have what Yogananda says, the unshakable faith that they work. The unshakable faith that they work. Then, so we have seen, we said the diet in form of whatever we eat, physically, mentally, emotionally, with our eyes, ears, mouth, the words, whatever we watch, and then all the physical diet. Again, I will not enter in that, although one of the main aspects of his principles on diet is that he would suggest foods that are, of course, fresh and full of energy, and raw foods. But it is truly a matter where one should enter deeply, in detail, and this is not the contest. Then we said exercise, he said exercise, and we have seen any form of exercise where, though, we use our will and our awareness to have the cosmic conscious energy to enter in our body in order to rouse the life force. So it's not just mechanical gym exercises. And this is the principle we know out of the energization exercises, which he defines as supreme way of healing. He says the constant practice of the energization exercises will heal you at all levels, if done willingly and consciously. And that we have seen then the walking and breathing with count, even count while we walk. We have seen that. We have seen the breathing, the importance of breathing with awareness, the count, equal count breathing as another form of rousing the life force within us. Then we have seen that within us, within our mind, there is the infinite power of healing of the presence of God, and we have seen how to use it with the superconscious healing technique and that command method. And then we would like just to understand that all this is not just only for us. We can help others by sharing that divine healing energy. So we are moving now in these last 5-10 minutes, 10 minutes, we are moving towards what he defined, the way how Jesus healed. He was talking to a Western audience in the 20s, in the 30s, in the 40s, but we could say the way how the saints heal, the way how the masters heal, for self-healing and healing others. And I will show to you how this is, and then we will do it together for ourselves. And then I will invite you to turn towards your neighbor and do it on him or on her. I tell you, this method that we are about to do, it's so powerful that we have seen instantaneous transformations in people of all ages, of all cultures, of all backgrounds. It is a truth that these methods work. First of all, I would like to share with you one of the three aspects of the classic healing method of Paramahansa Yogananda, and I will show you only one of these because 3 days ago when we were in Vrindavan, and I was doing exactly this. One of the mothers there, they are illiterate, you understand? They have never, someone has read the Bhagavad Gita, an exception. They are sometimes in their mind, sometimes not. While I was doing just this that I'm about to teach you, one of the mothers said, and I'm just reporting to you, only is one of the many things we see, but this is just because it corresponds exactly to Paramahansa Yogananda healing techniques. She said, Krishna came to me, stood in front of me, and did a strange movement. And I said, what movement? Well, it was exactly Paramahansa Yogananda technique for healing the mind. And I'm showing you which one. It is rotating the hands, one around the others, with the palms of the hand coming up towards your, in front of your tummy. I show you. You see, I'm moving like this and like this. You see the palms of my hands are towards my tummy and I come up. It's like a barrel, a cylinder. Why? Because I'm catalyzing, I'm forming a strong electromagnetic field made of the cosmic conscious energy of God, which willingly I am calling through my medulla oblongata, this area. I know you all know about it because you are students, you are all Kriyabans, most of you, so you know what I'm talking about. The cosmic conscious energy enters from the medulla oblongata in our body. We all know that. This point. If we don't know it again, this point. Out of our will, this energy enters. It enters from there. Then, we want to have that energy filling our body to recharge ourselves, as he says, as divine healing batteries. And then we move our hands like this, strongly, vigorously, and then we rub our hands together and we send this energy out. This is about mental healing. Mental healing. But before doing this, we say a prayer. Divine Mother, thou art omnipresent, thou art in all thy children, thou art in Sumitra's mind. Thou art in Sumitra, manifest thy healing presence in her mind. And then we do like this, we rub our hands and we send it to her. So I'm sharing this only because we were kind of touched of seeing this happening in front of an illiterate woman while we were doing the second healing technique that I'm about to tell you. She saw this. And we know that Babaji was an incarnation of Krishna and was Paramahansa Yogananda Paramparam Guru. So these are divine teachings. This is just to say, these are divine teachings. Divinely powerful. So, this is for healing the mind. Within a most complex technique that is written in the email I will send you if you will want. But let's do together this one. We visualize the divine energy entering from our medulla. We tense our body, willing to have that energy flowing and filling all our body, arms, legs, everywhere, mind, chest, all our body. Again, we visualize this energy entering from our medulla, willing to have that energy, again, seeing it flowing through our tension, throughout all our body. And again, we are willing to have that energy entering. We see it entering from the medulla. We tense our body and we have it flowing throughout all our body. And then, please follow me. But first, turn towards your neighbor. Turn towards your neighbor. Because you will do it to your neighbor. And your neighbor will receive it, and I will send it from here to the person who is sending it, so that nobody is missing anything. All right? So one of you will do this towards his neighbor. I will do it towards the person who is sending it out. Fine? So we are willing to have that energy. We have already tensed our body to have the divine cosmic energy flowing through our body. We have done it 3 times. And then the person who sends it towards the friend, rub your hands. Oh, no, Sumitra, no, excuse me, I'm showing, excuse me. Rub your hands on your naked arm. Excuse me? Bare arms. Thank you. English is not my first language, as you for sure have understood. So, you rub your hands on your bare arms, again, yes. And then you rub your hands up to 20 times if you can count, or until you feel a certain tingling, prickling sensation between your hands. And then you send it to the other person, like this. Daya, would you mind to come here so I can show? So look how he suggests to do. Excuse me? Up and down. Up and down. He says for 15 minutes, which obviously we don't have. But why 15 minutes? It is the same time he says to remain unmovable after Kriya. Why? Because it allows the new consciousness healed by the practice to stabilize in this field of duality at an electromagnetic layer. Do you understand? So now we will do it for just half a minute, but know that this is the practice, right? Now, she is present and alive. We can do it for people who are very far, even in another continent. We can do it for people who are not here anymore. We can do it for places. We can do it for our entire families. We can do it for our family tree. No need to say anything. We can do it for nervousness, of course. We can do it, he says, Yogananda, towards the brain of the person, for roasting, he says, the seeds of karma which are there. We can do it towards the spine of the person, to roast the other polarity of the seeds of karma. We can do it towards the heart of the person. If we know that the person is going through a tremendously difficult time, through a sorrow, through a grief. Is it clear? You don't know anything about your friend there, but you can send it like this, like scanning the person. The energy is intelligence and knows where to go. We do it right now. So, we have tens. We have been willing to have it. We have rubber arms. We have rubber hands. Now, move it. Up and down, and I will send, as I said, only one is sending, only one is receiving, because I will send it towards the person who is sending it. So nobody's missing anything, don't worry. Daya is just representing the person who is sending it, don't worry. Nobody's missing anything. Up and down. Up and down. Yogananda explains that you have recharged yourself as a divine battery. You have recharged your hands as healing batteries. And by doing this, he says you will see people healed from sorrows, healed from ignorance, spiritual ignorance, healed from physical discomforts, difficulties, and smiling of the smile of God. Because what is getting transformed is the consciousness of the person, which is at the basis of whatever physical, mental, emotional, material disease. It is 11 o'clock. We are closing right now our beautiful morning together. Know that, yes, Daya, she has something to say. No. We could go in depth with all this. Please, again, those who have been sending, I have sent to those who were sending exactly the energy that you were sending. You were receiving it, because while I was doing it on her, it was on behalf of all those who were sending. She was receiving it on behalf of all those who were sending it and apparently could not receive, because otherwise the satsang would go on forever. Know that you have received. What we have noticed, perhaps you want to know, to feel relaxed, that when we do group healings, in poor contests, in in family contests, we can't go one-to-one when hundreds of people are there. On one person, we do, everybody is affected. Everybody. Because it has a big resonance, it is an homeopathic healing, in a form of spiritual homeopathic healing. I hope you are understanding the power of healing systems given by a great avatar. I hope it was an experience of hope, first of all, of a blessing, the experience of a blessing, and I hope you can do it at home for yourself and for others. Know that when you do these powerful exercises, either of the barrel or of tensing, and then rubbing on your bare arms and rubbing your hands, know that you can put then those hands on your brain. When you feel mental craziness happening, mental thoughts chasing you obsessively or whatever, confusion, you can do it for your heart, putting your hands on your heart, or on the part of your body which is aching. All this is written in the email that perhaps you want to receive, and you are most welcome to leave your email address. I don't know where. Someone, maybe Shamini, will you, I don't know. But God bless you all. May these healing teachings touch you deeply and touch the people around you with healing, with liberation from unbalances, discomforts, disharmonies, sorrow, griefs. Om Guru. Om, 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 Om. Thank you.